Tommy Swint is a person of interest in the missing persons case of Niqui McCown. But when he becomes a cop without divulging that information, he resigns. Tommy sues for wrongful termination, and the lawsuit is eventually dropped. But along with the massive media coverage comes some unsolicited attention aimed squarely at the former cop.
You get an anonymous tip. Hey, look into this guy, Tommy Swint, for Tina Ivory.
That is correct.
33-year-old Tina Ivory lived in Dayton, Ohio in 1991 when she went missing.
A dead body of an individual by the name of Tina Ivory. She was actually found off the side of a road, thrown like trash in a trash pile.
Were you able to determine how she died?
Yes, strangulation and blunt trauma.
And even though police were able to build a suspect's DNA profile from blood and semen stains recovered from the blanket used to cover Tina's body, investigators were missing one key thing:
a suspect to match it to.
So the case went cold and stayed there for 16 years. Until now.
There's still the problem that you need Tommy's DNA, right?
And Dayton investigators can't force Tommy to hand over a sample, but it turns out they don't need to. He's already given his DNA to Richmond police.
And then Richmond in turn gave it to us.
I want to stop it right there. How did you get his DNA? Why is he voluntarily saying, I'll give you my DNA?
Due to the fact he was cooperating with his attorneys, he did offer to give it to them.
So Tommy's saying, all right, I'm going to cooperate with Richmond PD. I have nothing to hide. But he doesn't know behind the scenes, you're actually trying to acquire that DNA because you have this dead body and you want to see if it's a match.
That is correct. He did not know that he was under the radar for Tina's homicide.
And the results of Tommy's DNA, when compared with the sample recovered from Tina's crime scene,
matches the blood DNA that was on the blanket, matched Tommy Swint, as well as 2 semen spots that were on the jacket of Tina Ivory that was inside the body bag that was used, actually came back to Tommy Swint.
And if DNA weren't enough, forensic teams using the latest technology pull a fingerprint from the tape that was used to bind Tina's body. Then police track down Tommy, now working as a security guard and living in Alabama. They have a warrant to obtain his fingerprints.
We got him in his vehicle while he was going to work. So he was actually in his uniform, working at a security job down in Alabama, and made contact with him. They did a traffic stop on him and brought him to the police station. Again, very cooperative, did not ask any questions. And we told him that we were looking to just get his fingerprints, and he said okay. And
just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprisingly, the fingerprints are a match.
I mean, you think you got your guy?
Oh, yes. We definitely knew we had our guy.
And investigators let Tommy know what they have. His reaction is recorded on police surveillance.
Well, if I told you we had your DNA off her, do you believe it?
No, I don't believe it.
And the reason is because you killed her.
So when
That you killed her.
are you stating that I killed her?
I'm asking you, did you kill
Oh, no.
her? Okay,
I don't
if
even
I'm
know her.
telling you that we have evidence that says that you did, what do you have to say to that?
And all due respect. And I understand what your job is. But I'm gonna have to bring this to a close.
Tommy is free to go while Dayton police pull an arrest warrant. Once the paperwork is complete, they contact the authorities in Alabama to assist in the takedown.
Did you get the sense he knew what was coming?
Yes.
Back in Richmond, Indiana, police get word that Tommy's about to be indicted by Dayton authorities for Tina Ivory's murder. It's a huge development for them, turning Tommy Swint from a person of interest to possible prime suspect in the disappearance of Niqui McCown.
Are you thinking, all right, this is our guy. We got our guy who's responsible for Niqui's disappearance?
Absolutely. And we believe that through interviewing him in connection with that homicide, that we were going to be able to obtain information to figure out, where Niqui was and what had happened to her.
So this right here was the big break.
Absolutely.
Now, 3 police agencies working together in Indiana, Ohio, and Alabama are ready to move in and take down a suspected cold-blooded killer.
The indictment comes down and something happens that I'm sure nobody anticipated. Take me through it.
Well, at that point, we contacted Alabama as soon as the indictment came out to go out and arrest him and pick him up. And when they did, and they approached the house, they heard a gunshot, and Tommy actually took his life.
And boom, commit suicide.
That's probably the best word, is boom.
It's a gunshot that sends shockwaves all the way back to Richmond, Indiana. How frustrating was that?
Completely. Because now we can't talk to him.
Niqui's family also gets the stunning news. Their feelings are mixed.
I was kind of mad at the fact that they got an answer and we don't. You know, I'm glad that it worked. It worked out for them, but it was a total double sword for us because we still didn't have an answer.
But did the answers about what really happened to Niqui McCown die with Tommy Swint?
No, I don't believe so.
Why not?
I believe that there's another person of interest that Tommy was close to that has some of the answers, if not all of them.
Are you saying this generally, or is there a person who you've zeroed in on that may have information about what happened to Niqui?
There's another person. It was a coworker of his that he had a relationship with, and I believe that person probably does know more.
That's right, Tommy had a love interest at the correctional facility where he worked at the time when Niqui went missing, and cops believe that there was pillow talk about what happened to Niqui.
You're thinking that he may have shared information with her.
I believe so.
Is she on the list to be spoken to?
Yes.
But as for Niqui's family, the weight is almost too much to bear. It's been 17 years since their beloved Niqui disappeared, and her fiance Bobby says his life will never be the same.
All I wanted out of all of this is Peyton to have a mother and me to have a wife. I hope they find out to this day, 17 years later, I'm single, no relationship, nowhere in sight, lonely as it gets still, and just trying to deal with it. All I want's answers. Mad at God because he hadn't answered me yet, you know.
Her daughter Peyton, who was 9 at the time her mother vanished, is now a 26-year-old woman with a child of her own.
Do you think you'll ever get the answers you're looking for?
I do. I think when the time's right, I think that everything happens for a reason. So I think when the time's right and when it's ready to come out, it will.
You know, I blame myself for it. Because if I had treated her mother better, her mother would still be here.
And what would Niqui's sisters like to say to the woman who cops think may hold the answers?
I know Swint told you something to clear your conscience, and you're supposed to be a Christian now. Go ahead and get right with God. Get right with us. That's my message to her.
And police have a message of their own. They don't think Tommy was just involved in Tina and Niqui's demise. They believe he took many secrets to his grave.
Or was Tommy Swint a serial killer?
Do I believe that there's a good possibility that there are other people that he has harmed? Yes, I do.
Anything else you want to add?
And I watch your show daily. And without you guys, we would not have a lot of solved crimes. You guys are awesome.
I appreciate the time you've given us and the time you've given Niqui and the job you do in helping others at solving crimes and families like us that are hurting.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
And just like the case of Tina Ivory, an anonymous tip can be the difference needed to help police discover the whole story of Niqui's disappearance. So they're asking for your help today. If you know anything, the time to come forward is now. Call the Richmond Police Department at 1-765-983-7247, or you can submit a tip anonymously at crimewatchdaily.com. I'm Chris Hansen. If you like this story, make sure you tune in every day to Crime Watch Daily. You can find where the show airs in your city at crimewatchdaily.com. Watch it live or record it on your DVR and watch it at night. And to all those criminals out there, remember, we are watching.